FactsVerse presents Top 10 Youngest Mothers in the World. Most women try to wait to have their first child until they're in a committed relationship and financially ready to do so. Unfortunately, things don't always work out that way. Here are the top 10 youngest mothers in the world. Before we tell you about these ladies that you should not aspire to be, how about you help us out by clicking that like button, and also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. Number 1. Unnamed Girl. When an 8-year-old girl went to a pharmacy in Ciudad Bolivar, Colombia to pick up medication for her sick mother, and while she was there she was raped by a pharmacy employee. The man was 32 years old, and the rape resulted in a pregnancy of the 8-year-old. When a police officer saw the little girl, he thought that she was hiding drugs in her jacket because of the size of her swollen abdomen. When the officer took the girl to the hospital, tests showed that she was 32 weeks pregnant. According to the mother, the man threatened to kill her and her daughter if they told anybody about the rape. After the pregnancy was discovered, though, the Colombian Family Welfare Institute got involved. After the girl gave birth, she and her mother refused to press charges against the man who raped her. Number 2. Mum Z. In Africa, harems are not uncommon. This is where women are kept in close quarters and they are forbidden to see any men. In some cases, a tribal chief's harem includes very young girls. Tribal chiefs believe that a young girl can't bear children until they have their first period. And in the case of an 8-year-old girl named Mum Z, this wasn't the case. She became pregnant and then later her daughter gave birth at 8 years old, which meant she was a grandmother at the age of 17. Number 3. Yelizaveta Liza Krishenko. In the Soviet Union in 1934, a 5-year-old girl was raped by her 70-year-old grandfather and she got pregnant. Just a few days after her 6th birthday, she went into labor. The doctors wanted to do a C-section. However, since the procedure was considered dangerous, her parents decided against it. Sadly, the little girl suffered a placental tear and her child died during childbirth. After the baby died, the family moved away to avoid unwanted attention. Strangely, the family took the little girl's grandfather with them. Number 4. Lena Medina. Lena was just 5 years old when her parents found out that she was 28 weeks pregnant. They thought she had a tumor, but after further testing, found out that she was with child. According to her mother, Lena went into precocious puberty, which means hormone glands become activated much earlier than normal. Lena started getting her periods at only 8 months old, and she developed her breasts by the time she was 4 years old. Lena gave birth to a healthy son via C-section, and she named him Gerardo. When the police tried to determine who got her pregnant, they arrested her father. He was soon released, though, due to a lack of evidence. Gerardo died at the age of 40 because of bone marrow disease. Number 5. Hilda Trujillo. In 1957, an 8-year-old girl in Lima, Peru was raped by her 22-year-old cousin. As a result, the young girl became pregnant. She gave birth early to a baby that she named Maria. The cousin was eventually arrested and charged with the rape of the young girl. Hilda went on to raise her child with the help of her parents. Number 6. Anna. In April 2010, Anna, also known as Anya, from Rostov-on-Don, Russia, became pregnant. She was only 8 years old when she became pregnant. The little girl's 13-year-old neighbor raped her and got her pregnant. Number 7. Unnamed Girl. In 1993, a woman in Kashmir, India lost her husband, and she and her children were living in poverty. To try and make things better, she accepted an offer of marriage for her 8-year-old daughter. Unfortunately, selling female children off to adult men is really not uncommon in that part of the world, and sadly the girl became pregnant right off. Both she and her child died during the childbirth. Today, there are organizations who are trying to stop child marriages, as many turned out to be a nightmare for the young girls who are sold. Number 8. Grisaldina Acuna. Shortly after Grisaldina turned 8 years old, she became pregnant and gave birth to a baby boy. She got pregnant after she was raped by a family friend. According to the family, she started her first period when she was only 3 years old, which is incredibly young. The family friend who raped the young girl and got her pregnant was never arrested or prosecuted. Shortly after the family found out that the young girl was pregnant, the family friend took off, and nobody knew where he went. He must have known that it wouldn't be long before Grisaldina named her attacker. Number 9. Zalma Guadalupe Morales. When Zalma was just 8 years old, she was raped by her uncle, and as a result, she got pregnant. She gave birth to a baby at a hospital in Mexico via C-section. Under the circumstances, Zalma's mother wanted to keep everything a secret. Unfortunately, a news agency heard about the story and the little girl's name was released. This was the last thing the family wanted. After her name was released, the family was harassed for months about the pregnancy and the baby. Finally, her mother asked that people please leave the family alone and give them their privacy so that they could raise the new baby in peace. Number 10. H. A 6-year-old girl who was only known as the letter H gave birth via C-section at a hospital in Delhi, India. When she was admitted, her parents believed that she had a stomach tumor due to the pain and swelling. When the doctors discovered the young girl was pregnant, they were shocked. H had never even begun menstruating yet. Fortunately, even though she was so young, she was able to breastfeed her child for 9 months. This was quite shocking due to her young age, but it was important. Since her family was poor and could not afford formula, the only way the baby could have eaten was to breastfeed. Subscribe for more.